There's no alternatives to pawn takes pawn. I get it confused sometimes with a different move order that Grandmaster Alex Lenderman I've seen used like in Blitz, just the E5 even earlier, I think. So here, I don't think you can do king takes because of knight g5. I've probably played this position like 20 times, and I'm still freaking out every time I play this. I had this weird feeling there was an alternative way for black playing this position, but I can't imagine what it is. After e5, I don't see another move. So in this position, I do remember a little bit of research I did. There was a time when I think I played bishop e6, some blitz games. But then I have the feeling that I later discovered that it's better to play e6. However, here is like knight a4 a problem. Knight a4 b5, no. No. I mean, that's an important resource. I play e6. It's tempting to play bishop e6, and I think I've done that in blitz, but it's not really developmentally right. Knight a4 b5 is a huge resource for black to have. Knight b6, rook c8, rook b8, I guess. And we don't mind like giving up a bishop pair for up a pawn. This will be the last game of the stream. Whatever happened to Tony Rook from Chess FM? Don't know. I have not. Yeah, he wasn't a strong player. He was kind of a low-rated club player. Don't know. Rook d1. We'd like to kind of unravel here. b5 is very weakening. My king would like to stay in the center, like on e7, but you have to be careful with all of his active pieces. Even the e7 might not be safe. The problem is, basically, with e7 for the king would be, he's threatening, by the way, rook takes d8 check, just so you guys know. The e7 for the king could get exposed to things like bishop g5, a3, bishop a3. Not really a viable option. Now, is there any other trick here, bishop e7? I'm probably playing someone who's consulting their Esserman Smith-Morrow book at the moment. I have the feeling that the Smith-Morrow equalizes for white. There's so many traps where black can get crushed, though it's worth playing, I guess, in practical chess, especially in a fast time control. There was a whole host of young players who played it in the United States when I was kind of at the peak rating, when I reached my peak rating. Around that time, 10 years ago, Lev Milman, Alex Lenderman, and this other guy, Esserman, all playing this opening. Very effective in like rapid chess. I remember once Lenderman like crushing, or maybe it was Lev Milman crushing Jan Elvis in the Marshall Chess Club New York Masters tournament. I mean, for me, it was like unthinkable that someone like Elvis would lose to the Mora, but it happened. Bishop f4 now. It looks very typical, let's say. Now, I don't see any traps at the moment. If I play b5, I may weaken my position a bit. I'm a little concerned about that. On the other hand, if I don't play b5, I may suffer from a sort of inability to free my game. I'm going to go out on a limb and play b5 here. Whoa, maybe I shouldn't. I just remembered that there's these crazy piece sacrifices. Yeah. b5 is probably one of those sacrifices. Like, yeah, I just probably get crushed. So it's not really possible to do b5 yet. I almost did it, probably Esterman, Elvest, or something like that. Bishop d7 is interesting. The idea of maybe bishop c6 or knight c6. Bishop d7, knight takes d7, knight takes d7. Falling behind the development there. But castles with the idea of b5, maybe the way to go here. It's going to be hard for me to unravel if I don't play something like knight d7 or bishop d7. Bishop d7 looks right. Knight takes d7, knight takes d7. And then he has these tricky moves like knight b5. This is what this bishop f4 is designed for. So we have to be careful. b5, knight takes b5. All these knight b5 ideas. If I castle here, but I don't think he has anything if I castle. At least my king is safe. He's going to have some kind of compensation, but it's not going to be anything resolving, with my king. I mean, he's not going to checkmate me. He's not going to win rooks and pieces on a fork based on the position of my king. He's not going to trap my rook on the kingside, rook on the side of the board. So a4, yeah, we kind of expected this. Now, the gut instinct is b6. Idea bishop b7. He doesn't have rook a3 available. So, I kind of like it. I mean, I don't see anything special for white. After b6, but he may turn around, move his bishop back to e2, and have things like knight c4, turning it around on my b6 pawn. b6, bishop e2, bishop b7, knight c4, hitting the b6 pawn. We could also play knight c6. Maybe it's ugly, but I kind of like it because he's got weaknesses on b4, a5, and if he takes on c6, we have this horrible looking structure, but we get the absolute monster square d5 for our pieces. We end up with a bad bishop though. Knight c6, knight takes c6, b takes c6. Maybe bishop e6 there. It looks kind of awkward. I don't know, man. I think this guy is consulting his guide to the gambit there. That's okay. b6 looks like positionally sound. We're not really, that happy with knight c6, knight takes c6, b takes c6, because of what? Bishop d6, first of all, looks rather awkward, and though it's hardly earth-shaking, we could end up with some problems. So b6, you could play bishop e3 as well. I think this is okay. We have to watch out for knight c6 ideas. I think it's okay. We have to make a decision soon. Bishop e3, bishop c5, maybe. Looks like I think it kind of paralyzed here. Maybe knight c6 is not so bad. I could do knight c6, knight takes c6, b takes c, and if bishop d6, maybe rook a7. Then bishop b8. Should like force a draw or something? Not completely, but well, no, it's not so bad. I guess I'm going to do this. I'm not happy with this though. White has compensation, so we have to find an improvement somewhere. Take, 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 take. I guess bishop d6, rook a7. Black is okay. Is my evaluation of the position. It's not really how to say, satisfying. Yeah, knight h5 was a move, but knight h5 draws the knight away from the center. It's doesn't feel like he goes to probe other weaknesses from e3. So I don't think it was any sort of walk in the park. This move is a concession, but at least feels like it gives me some counterplay. I want to mention one thing. I'm a slightly paranoid individual, um, not like excessively so, but I've been very impressed by the fact that since I started the stream, I don't think that I played anybody who was using a computer program. I mean, that's a lot of games. Because generally in online chess, you feel like once in a while somebody's using a computer program against you, just based on the way they played, how fast they played, some unbelievable moves, forward sequences, tactics that are just hard to believe. I don't think we've played anybody who was cheating, which I'm very happy about. It's nice. I mean, I'm not implying anything about this guy, but I wouldn't know. At this point, I mean, there'd be no way to know. It's possible that this is best play for both sides until this point. So we can't say anything, if this guy has played. It seems like he's played pretty perfectly, but it's pretty easy to remember this much. This is actually considered to be one of the best lines for black, so it's no wonder if people who play the Mora have memorized this variation now. It used to be a good surprise variation for black, but chess theory is so massive now. Nothing is secret anymore. Mike Pancake says ICC engine detection is highest. I agree, Mike. You're probably right. Of the websites where I've played, they probably have done the best of the bunch. But I still think that it's kind of like, it's kind of like possible. I mean, stop everybody. Just too easy to cheat. You really have to hope that the level of morality is quite high. And you can't involve money in online chess because then it would be like, trust me. I mean, grandmasters start cheating when money is involved, not just average everyday players. Okay, a5. Yeah, I'm getting kind of annoyed by this position now. I'm gonna have to give up something, I think, here, and we're gonna have to make a concrete decision. It looks like knight b4 with the idea of knight d5, sacking pawn if necessary to break it up, and b6 square will get covered by, I was going to say the b6 square will get covered, but I'm a little worried now that if I play knight b4, I just had a moment of panic here. Knight b4, knight a4, it's a little bit of an issue. Just realized. Actually not. No, okay. If he goes to a4, he's leaving the defense. I think this move is okay. This looks like a concrete way of, I'm going to give you a pawn back. And this was one of the reasons why I kind of like knight c6, to use the b4 square in some lines. We're totally comfortable giving up a pawn on d5 to free my position. And we've managed to keep our position somewhat compact. We have a slight weakness of b6. We're keeping an eye on that, and our king is safe. We'd like to play a position where we have some small advantage going forward to an endgame, like perhaps a bishop pair. My pawn's people says no one plays. Staying around ICC now.